Hey YouTube, what's up? So it's been a while since I made any videos here on my other channel, the SaiyanPrinceWoods channel. I made a couple videos discussing a few anime shows, a few comic book shows like Black Lightning, a couple videos regarding wrestling, and a boxing video. So what I decided was, since I already have a sports page on WordPress, First Degree Sports, which I'll leave a link in the description below, to just make a straight up page on YouTube just for discussing sports. And then I'll leave the other channel, the SaiyanPrinceWoods channel, which I'll also leave in the link below if you want to go follow that. Just involving more just media based stuff, like I said, anime, comic book type deals, movies, all that good stuff. So today what I wanted to get into was the divisional round of the playoffs, the two games that are going on today, the Vikings, 49ers, Titans, and the Ravens. And I just wanted to pretty much give predictions on that. So the first game we got going on tonight is Niners and the Vikings, I believe. Yeah, that's going to be the one in the afternoon. So last week, the Vikings, they came up big, went against Drew Brees and the Saints. And what stood out to me is their defense held up pretty well. I mean, throughout most of the majority of the game. I mean, the Saints ended up putting up 20, but they struggled majority of that entire game, which surprised me because on offense, I mean, the Saints been pretty deadly this year. I mean, we saw that game that they had versus the 49ers when they both put up like 40 against each other. So they got a pretty common opponent. So I see this, besides maybe the Packers and the Seattle game tomorrow, I see this being the hardest game to call all weekend. Just because I feel the Vikings and the Niners, just based off the Saints game alone, because I haven't really watched either team consistently all year. Only a few games each, probably. Watched a total like maybe just 2 games of each team all year in the regular season. And then the Vikings last week in the playoffs. So I see this actually being a real close game, similar to the Saints and Vikings last week, if I'm being honest. But if I had to make a choice on who I feel is going to take the dub today, I definitely think I'm going with the 49ers. I just feel all season they've just been pretty consistent. Number 1 seed in the NFC, had tough competition all year. I mean, they pretty much faced almost all the NFC teams in the playoffs. I mean, they beat the Saints, like I said earlier, in the shootout. They thrashed the Packers earlier in the season. And they had another close overtime game with Seattle and another close game to win the division and get the top seed last game of the season. So I just feel like they've been more battle-tested throughout the year. I feel Jimmy G is just showing a whole lot of promise. You can see why, coming from the Patriots, why there's rumors going around why Belichick wants to keep him around, and I think he's proven why. I mean, when he first got that contract that he was offered, I think it was the biggest contract for QBs at the time. A lot of people were saying that's too much to pay for somebody who was unproven. Don't get me wrong, when the deal at the time happened, I saw the reason why the 49ers did it, just because quarterbacks ain't just been too easy to come by and you want to lock somebody in. But even I was like, that much money, it just seemed to be too much. But this season so far, he's been proving why he's been worth what the 49ers gave him, and I think he's just going to continue to keep doing that tonight against Minnesota. And I see them winning late, close, by like a touchdown. Probably like 27-20 or something like that. Now for the AFC side of things, we got the Ravens and the Titans. Last week, Titans did what a lot of people feel are presuming to be the end of the Patriots dynasty, which was, I think, a big confidence boost for them as a team to be able to take out New England, who's been to the AFC Championship game, I think, like the past. They've been there, look, pretty much every single year for the past, like, 20 years almost. They've been up in there and beating everybody. It's very seldom, if ever, I think they've been knocked out in the first round while Tom Brady been up in there. It may have happened a couple times, but I could not tell you with confidence if it's even happened. Yeah, then we got the Ravens, who best team in the league in the regular season this year. They was like 14-2. Got the best rushing offense in the league. I think they got the best total offense in the entire. Hold on, let me look that up and see. Do they? I thought I had it up on the laptop. Anyway, look, everybody knows their offense has been a juggernaut all season. And if you beat them, you're going to have to put up a lot of points. Because even their defense is, I think, about top 5. Close in the top 5. I think they rank like number 4. And the Titans, they showed that, they can outlast the team. But the Patriots offense, they're nowhere near close to the Ravens offense this year. They've been struggling all season. I don't think they have the same amount of weapons that the Ravens have. They didn't really have to deal with a mobile quarterback last week. I mean, you don't have to worry about Tom Brady running for 100 yards on you. Don't get me wrong, he can scramble out and make key first downs in big time situations, but he's not going to be doing nothing like Lamar Jackson is about to be doing, not even close. And the Titans, even with their victory, I know they had that pick six at the end, 20-13, but they really won 14-13 for the most. The offense only put up 14 points. Defense on the Titans, they're going to have to force the Ravens to make a whole bunch of mistakes, I feel like, for them to win. Because I don't think they're just going to be able to hold them and consistently get 3 and outs all game long. So, yeah, I just think with this game, offense on the Ravens side just going to be too much for them to overcome. I just don't see them being able to hold Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to a low amount of scoring. And on the other side, Tannehill, he's been pretty solid. I mean, I think he's lost, one game or since he's been starting QB for the Titans? I know he's been doing good. They said something last week that with him, he's won a good amount of games. I think he's only lost like 1 or 2, if any, while he's been with them. I haven't been watching them too much this year, but apparently Tannehill's been the best choice for them so far. But even last week, I know last week they went up against number 1 defense in the league against New England, so you can attest that to why they only scored about 14 on them. And Derrick Henry is a monster. I'm not just going to not mention him because he had a ridiculous game last week. But the Ravens got a good defense too. So I think they're going to struggle some. And I think the Ravens offense is going to just be able to do what they've been doing all year. Just stay in their groove, run up the score. And I just don't think the Titans going to be able to keep up. So I got the Ravens winning by, I can see it being like 28-14. Maybe the Titans get a late touchdown just because the Ravens defense let up a little bit. And the score looked more respectable, 21-28. But I can see them winning by like 2 touchdowns, though. So, yeah, I got 49ers and the Ravens taking the dub today. Thanks to everybody who listened, and it's time to get ready for the game.